everyone! Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Bianca Gonzalez. I'm your host for today and thank you so much for tuning in. Alam niyo po, taon-taon ipinagdiriwang natin ang Safer Internet Day. Kasama syempre ang buong mundo. And karaniwan, idinaraos ang selebrasyon na Safer Internet Day tuwing ikalawang Martes ng Pebrero. Yan usually Pero dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, it is celebrated for the entire month. Imagine, ganun talaga kaimportante para sa atin ang responsableng paggamit ng internet. Kaya maraming salamat sa pagsama sa amin ngayong umaga. Marami tayong lahat matututunan. Pati ako. Well, paano nga ba nagkaroon ng Safer Internet Day Philippines or SIDPh? Ito ay na-enact via Presidential Proclamation number 417 and it is celebrated as a call to action to promote a better and safer internet for children nationwide. So buong Pilipinas talaga ito. At para sa taong 2022, inadopt ng SIDPh ang temang CRC Next Level. Click, Respect, Connect. Ligtas na ugnayan online. Sige nga, sabihin natin yun ng sabay-sabay. CRC meaning click, respect, connect. Okay? CRC, click, respect, connect. Yan. Tandaan nyo yan ngayong araw na ito at even after our webinar today. And ito ay talagang pagpapaalala sa ating lahat na magkaroon ng ligtas na ugnayan online. And dapat isinasa-isip talaga natin yung respeto na pinapakita natin sa ating kapwa sa tunay na buhay, offline. Kailangan ganun din yung respect natin para sa iba online. And for the first time, the Department of Education shall be celebrating SIDPh led by its newly created Child Protection Unit. Together with their partners, Facebook Philippines, maraming salamat, isa sa partners natin, and Stairway Foundation, thank you very much. Kaya naman sa umagang ito, magbabahagi po ang DepEd CPU ng iba't ibang mga impormasyon na may kinalaman sa cyber safety, syempre sa konteksto ng edukasyon. Kaya naman, eto na, atin pong simulan ng ating programa sa pakikinig sa munting mensahe galing sa Undersecretary for Field Operations, Palarong Pambansa Secretariat, DEA-CO and CPU, Attorney Revsi A. Escobedo.
Good morning, everyone. My warmest greetings to all our distinguished guests, administrators, sponsors, teachers, dear students, and to all present here with us today. It is my greatest pleasure and honor to deliver a message for the celebration of the Safer Internet Day 2022. For a start, the Philippines gained access to the internet nearly 30 years ago. It had very limited capabilities since text and the small image files were the only things that could be sent. Likewise, it was slow and could only be afforded by a few. Even then, its proponents already saw the impact that it would have on research and education. With everyone gaining access to latest scientific discoveries with just a click of a button and from the confines of their own home. The digital landscape of today is completely different due to various modern technological advancements. And during this pandemic, the internet has been extremely helpful in ensuring that education continues. For we must not only look at the present, but also forward into the future. As such, the Department of Education immediately utilized the power of the internet to access lessons by providing learning avenues through our DepEd Commons. Furthermore, learners, guardians, and teachers communicate with ease through the use of social media. Learners' clarifications and questions about their lessons and activities, and of course, teachers' announcements and supplementary guidance about their classes are simply transmitted with just a click of a button. However, technology is not immune to misuse and abuse. There are many unscrupulous figures waiting for unsuspecting victims. Some of them spread lies, fake news, and misinformation. Some of them steal money and identities. And some bully, abuse, and exploit vulnerable people, including our children. While these activities are not new, the internet increases their reach. Coupled by the anonymity, this makes detecting and prosecuting them very difficult. This certainly empowers and emboldens them. However, there are also good people that use their expertise to combat exploitative entities and activities. Thus, we must instill in ourselves and our learners to create and preserve a safe and inclusive internet culture. We can easily achieve this for all by collectively and consistently practicing internet safety to make it a part of our internet behavior, culture, and attitude. It is imperative that the progress of our individual selves and our nation must embrace technological advancements. Hence, the annual celebration of the Safer Internet Day is a constant reminder for ourselves to remain vigilant in and responsible in its usage. However, this cannot be done instantaneously. Our mission is to create a safer internet and make sure that it will be embraced by everyone. But if we practice good internet etiquette now, it is certain that we will accomplish our goals, our noble quest. Through the endeavors of the Child Protection Unit, discussions about DepEd's online safeguarding policy, online safeguarding consideration under the BALCP, proposed Facebook Safety Guide for Schools, and others, cyber safety and digital literary resources will be made available for everyone. For our dear learners, it is always a pleasure to see your enthusiasm whenever you are participating in all of DepEd's activities. Thank you so much for being here. With the gradual return of face-to-face classes, we are excited to see your smiling faces as you embark on your journey for knowledge and learning. All of your hard work is dedicated to ensure that you are always safe to grow and to learn so that you may reach your fullest potential. We also thank your teachers for recognizing the vital importance of teaching digital safety and serving as good examples of responsible internet usage, especially during these very difficult times. And on behalf of the Department of Education, I would like to commend the Child Protection Unit for their efforts in organizing this event. I would also like to offer my utmost gratitude to our partners, the Stairway Foundation and Meta, who have always offered their unwavering support to our department, especially when it involves advocacies that champion the rights of children. Again, congratulations, mabuhay kayong lahat, lagit lagi serbisyo para sa bata at serbisyo para sa bayan. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Maraming salamat, Yusek Revsi, for your message. I'm sure nakagising yan sa ating lahat ngayong umaga and sana baunin natin ang mga sinabi ni Yusek. But of course, wait, There's more! Siyempre, hindi lang pwedeng si Yusek ang magbibigay sa atin ng nakaka-inspire na mensahe ngayong umaga. Kaya naman, let us all welcome ang ating pinakamamahal na Secretary of Education, Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones.
Good day to each and every Filipino, especially those in the DepEd family, Stairway Foundation, and Facebook Philippines, who are committed to the protection of our children. I'm very pleased to greet the Department of Education's Child Protection Unit, Stairway Foundation, and Facebook Philippines, which is holding its first Safer Internet Day Philippines and focusing attention on the dangers as well as signs of cyberbullying and the threats to the learning environment of our children. In 2016, the National Baseline Study on Violence Against Children notes that almost 1 in 2 children in the country have experienced some form of cyberbullying, whether online sexual exploitation or threats and all sorts of threatening situations. The 2021 Philippine Kids online study indicates that 1 in 2 children do not feel safe online. This has very powerful implications for our efforts to continue the learning process through online methods. If children do not feel safe in online communications or with online methods, then the effectiveness of the learning process will surely be negatively affected. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused our schools to shift to distance learning, and this has resulted in increased utilization of technology and the internet for children, both as a tool for learning and communication. The speed with which technology, knowledge, communications have improved or perhaps brought in new and exciting changes is really mind-boggling. The right to be safe in the online environment is part of DepEd's rights-based education framework under the dimension of the right to respect and integrity in the learning environment. As a child learning institution, DepEd personnel must ensure that in the discharge of their function, they should not do any harm or facilitate any danger to our learners, even in cyberspace. There is a need now more than ever to ensure that children stay safe online, as even in the post-pandemic setting, the experience of utilizing technology shall most probably be part of the whole education process. I keep on repeating, for example, that once we move on to what we describe as the new normal, once we are able to reduce or to immobilize the threats of the various variants of the COVID-19 scourge. Now, we must ensure that our children are not harmed in the process. We have a lot of catching up to do, and in the process of catching up in science, in mathematics, in technology, our children must also be kept safe before they are drawn into other forms of um, online abuse. There is a need more than ever for our children to stay safe online, especially as we are going to use technology more than ever, even as we endeavor to balance technology and science with history, with arts, with culture, and with music. DepEd has shown its commitment to promoting a safe online space for learners via its various policy issuances, programs on cyber safety, the creation of the DepEd CPU, and the various engagements with civil society groups and the private sector. Therefore, DepEd is one with the nation in celebrating Safer Internet Day as we move forward in education, as we deal with what we describe as the new normal, as we catch up with what we purportedly lost or were left behind in the progress for technology and for science and for other wonderful new ways of learning. We are one in DepEd with the nation in celebrating Safer Internet Day Philippines 2022. The danger is very real. I'm not speaking from a just reading statistical reports on how children are harmed. I know concrete examples of very, very young children who are lured into practices, into ideas which start on cyberspace and end up with physical as well as face-to-face meetings with those who will dare to abuse them and put other negative thoughts in their mind, especially as they are learning. I know concrete cases of children who are seduced by very much older people just because they happen to wander into a particular space in the internet and get entangled with those who dare to abuse them, those who dare to subject them to cyber violence. So even as we are now doing our very, very best to control, to conquer this pandemic, even as we are doing our very, very best in catching up with developments in science, in technology, in mathematics, even as we are doing also our best to utilize advances in technology to have more knowledge about our history, our culture, our dances, our poetry. We must remember that at the end of the day, our objective is the protection of our children. Our objective is to keep them safe from harm and to prevent them ever getting into trouble with those who will dare to harm them. Thank you very much and have a good day, everyone.
Thank Thank you so much, Sec. Maraming salamat and good morning sa iyo. And we are truly, truly honored to hear and be inspired by your message. Talaga namang main objective nating lahat, maging ako bilang isang magulang, is to keep every learner safe. And syempre, gusto nating ma-prevent any kind of harm online. Alam ba ninyo na marami talagang gustong magpahatid ng suporta para sa programa natin ngayong araw? At syempre, kasama dito ay ang chairman ng Interagency Council Against Child Pornography or IAC-ACP. This morning, let us listen to ASEC Glenda Relova of the DSWD. Good morning!
A pleasant morning to all of you. We are gathered today in this virtual conference to observe the Safer Internet for Children Philippines. As the chair of the Interagency Council Against Child Pornography or IACP, I commend all the member agencies of the Council for staying true to the commitment to protect all Filipino children against all forms of violence, especially from the threats brought by online sexual abuse and exploitation of children, or SIDPh, especially during the pandemic. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or NECMEC, reports involving Filipino children have been rapidly increasing. In 2019, the NECMEC received 418,422 cyber tips, which increased to 1.2 million in 2020 and almost 3 million in 2021. The Anti-Money Laundering Council, AMLC, also reported that suspicious transactions linked to sexual abuse of children have doubled from 65.8 million pesos in 2019 to 113.1 million pesos on the first half of 2020. These reports show that the pandemic has created a perfect storm for SIDPh, where children and their families are forced to be involved in cybercrime due to the lack of economic opportunities during the lockdown. The pandemic has also increased the vulnerability of children as they spend more time online or on the internet, and most of the time unsupervised. This problem has challenged everyone, including us from the government, civil society organizations, and the private sectors. Despite the hundreds of children that we have rescued, there are lots of things that we need to do to put a permanent stop to SIDPh. We should leave no stone unturned in protecting our children. This month, as mandated by Presidential Proclamation number 417, we are celebrating the Safer Internet Day for Children Philippines with the theme, Bagong Normal, Ligtas na Internet for All. This celebration is a testament that everything is possible if we put our resources and work together. Globally, Safer Internet Day is celebrated in over 100 countries. The day offers the opportunity to highlight positive uses of technology and to explore the role we all play in creating a better and safer online community for the children. It calls upon young people, parents, teachers, social workers, law enforcers, private companies, and policymakers to join together in helping to create a better internet community. Since joining the Safer Internet Day celebration in 2013, the Council institutionalized the yearly celebration through advocacy and massive nationwide information dissemination drive. The DSWD, through the Council, shall continue to be at the forefront in the development of plans, policies, and strategies on all OSAIC matters. Together with other members of the Council, the IACP will safeguard our children through timely, appropriate, relevant, and innovative solutions to prevent and respond to OSAIC. Let us work hand in hand to achieve a world that is safe and peaceful for the Filipino children. On behalf of the Secretary of the DSWD, magandang umaga at maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Asek Glenda, for your message. Maraming salamat po sa suporta at sana patuloy po ito para sa aming adhikain. Okay, sa lahat ng nakikinig ngayon, students, parents, educators, makaka-relate tayong lahat dito kasi when the COVID-19 pandemic happened, lahat tayo apektado talaga, naging mahirap. Pero isa sa mga may pinakamalaking adjustment talaga na ginawa yung ating education sector. Dahil, di ba, for a time, kinailangan ipatigil pansamantala ang face-to-face classes para masiguro ang kaligtasan ng lahat ng mga bata mula sa sakit. Kaya naman, dahil dito, inilunsad ng DepEd ang Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan or BE-LCP na naglalaman ng mga strategy ng DepEd para maipagpatuloy pa rin ang education despite the pandemic. Now, bahagi ng BE-LCP ang pag-adapt sa iba't ibang learning delivery modalities. At kasama na dito ang online and modular learning. Naku, parang bago mag-2020, hindi natin alam yung mga terms na yan na modular, distance learning. Ngayon, alam na natin yung lahat, di ba? So, sa implementasyon ng BE-LCP, nakita talaga natin yung paglaki ng role ng internet, ng social media, sa lahat ng mga buhay natin, di ba? Online learning man or modular. At naging mahalagang instrumento talaga ang internet para mas lalong mapabilis ang learning delivery at communication sa ating mga learners. Now, bagamat syempre positibo ang naidulot ng internet sa konteksto ng BE-LCP, may mga lumabas din na safety concerns na kinailangan pagtuunan ng pansin ng DepEd. At upang ibahagi ang ilang mga perspektibo sa usaping ito, ating pakinggan ng ilan sa mga miyembro ng learning community at development partners ng DepEd. Okay, excited na akong makita at makilala kayo, marinigan yung mga sagot. Eto ha, iisa-isahin natin. Para sa ating mga learners, excited akong makausap itong si Althea Maureen Solis, junior high school student mula sa Marinduque National High School. Althea, gusto kong tanungin paano nakatulong yung internet, yung social media sa iyo bilang estudyante, lalong-lalo na nitong panahon ng pandemya.
Para sa akin, hindi ko matatapos ang kahit anong gawain sa kahit anong module, sa kahit anong asignatura nang walang access sa internet at social media. Sa tuwing magsasagot ako ng mga gawain sa module, akin munang babasahin ng mga impormasyon na nakasaad dito. Hindi maiiwasan ang mga pagkakataon kung saan may ilang parte na hindi ko naiintindihan. Sa mga sitwasyong ganito, aking isinasaliksik ang mga parte na hindi ko masyadong naintindihan sa internet. Dahil dito, mas naging kampante ako sa aking mga sagot. At totoo na madalas mag-brown out dito sa aking probinsya. Sa tuwing nangyayari ito, agad akong pumupunta sa mga tindahan upang magpa-load at upang magkaroon ng mobile data. Akin itong gagamitin upang makapagsaliksik ng karagdagang impormasyon na aking gagamitin sa aking mga aralin. Bihira ako magtanong sa aking mga guro sapagkat sa gabi ako gumagawa ng mga module. Sa gabi ako gumagawa sapagkat sa gabi, tapos ko na lahat ng mga gawaing bahay. Sa gabi, tahimik at mas nagagawa ko ng maayos ang aking mga gawain. Ayaw kong abalahin ng mga guro at gusto ko rin sila makapagpahinga ng kahit saglit lamang. Sa mga pagkakataong ganito, ginagamit ko ang social media platform na YouTube. Ako ay nagsasaliksik ng mga tutorial, lalo na sa asignaturang matematika. Isa pang social media app na ginagamit ko ay ang Messenger. Gamit ito, nakikipag-usap ako sa aking mga kaklase at nababawasan ang aking stress at ako'y nagiging masaya ng kahit saglit lamang. Aking masasabi na napakalaki ng impact at kampanya na meron ang internet at social media sa aking buhay, lalo na ngayong pandemya at lalo na ngayong distance learning, sapagkat ito ang aking ginagamit bilang gabay sa aking pag-aaral.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Althea. Ito naman kakausapin natin si Marian Di Maculangan, isang senior high school student from Liotoboro National High School. Hello, Marian! Ikaw naman, curious ako kung ano-ano yung mga safety concerns na sa pakiramdam mo, kinakaharap mo at lahat ng mga estudyante ngayon sa paggamit ng internet.
Sa paggamit ng internet, may iba't ibang uri ng mga safety concerns na kinaharap ng mga student learners ngayon. Unang-una, minsan hindi natin namamalayan na sobra na pala ang mga nilalagay nating impormasyon tungkol sa ating mga sarili na siyang nagiging dahilan para mabiktima tayo ng mga lumalaganap at kumakalat na scams. Pangalawa, ang oras na ginugugol natin kung minsan sa paggamit ng internet ay mas mahaba pa sa oras na binibigay natin para sa pamilya. Kung saan, minsan, hayag man natin na ipapakita ang pagmamahal natin sa social media, ngunit sa personal, hindi pala. Isa pa sa mga concerns sa paggamit ng internet ngayon ay ang bagay na di naaangkop sa edad ng ilang mga kabataan na maaga silang namumulat sa makamundong gawain na siyang nag-uugat sa maagang pakikipagrelasyon at pagkakaroon agad ng anak. Ganon din ang fake news. Sobrang napapanahon, di ba? Halos lahat ng nababasa ay pinaniniwalaan. Pero lagi nating tatandaan na sa bawat maling impormasyon na ating ibinabahagi, lalabas at lalabas, mananaig pa rin ang katotohanan. Siyempre, hindi rin mawawala sa labis na oras na iginugugol natin sa internet o pagbabad natin sa mga devices, ay maaari itong magdulot ng sakit sa ating kalusugan. Sa ating mga mata, pagsakit o pagtaas ng grado nito, maaaring sakit ng ating buong katawan o pagsakit ng ating ulo. Ang tanging masasabi ko lang na sa paggamit natin ng internet, dapat isaalang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan. Mahirap, ngunit kailangan natin maging maingat sa paggamit nito upang ako, ikaw, tayo, ligtas sa anumang peligro sa paggamit ng internet.
Thank you, Marian. I'm sure nakarelate ang lahat ng ating mga students sa mga sinagot earlier. Pero eto naman, pupuntahan naman natin, syempre, ang ating mga magigiting na teachers. Saludo ako talaga sa lahat ng mga teachers. Grabe, grabe ang dobleng pagpupursige ninyo, lalong-lalo na nitong panahon ng pandemya. Unahin ko, si Ma'am Mia Katrina Baldos, teacher sa Adriatico Memorial School. Good morning, Ma'am. I would like to ask bilang isang guro, ano ang challenges kinakaharap mo sa paggamit ng technology, internet, social media, under nitong BELCP?
Bilang isang guro, ang challenges ko sa paggamit ng internet, teknolohiya at social media ay ang mga sumusunod. Una, ang mahina at mabagal na internet connection. Minsan kasi kalagitnaan ng aking klase, nawawala ako dahil nawala na ng connection o kaya matagal ako bago makabalik dahil mabagal na nga ang connection namin sa school. Pangalawang challenge ko ay ang kawalan o kakulangan ng gadget ng mga bata. Hindi kasi lahat ng bata may sariling gadget. Gadget na ginagamit nila ay gadget or cellphone ng kanilang mga magulang. At hindi din naman kaya makapag-provide ng panibagong gadget ng mga magulang dahil sapat lang naman yung kinikita nila para sa pang-araw-araw nilang gastusin. Ang pangatlong challenge ko ay ang kakulangan ng kaalaman ng mga magulang sa paggamit ng iba't ibang social media platform or kahit yung Zoom or Google Meet, nahihirapan silang kontrolin o i-manage o sumali dahil hindi sila ganun ka-familiar dun sa mga platform na ginagamit pag nag-o-online class.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Mia, sa pag-share ng iyong kwento, ng iyong perspektibo, at muli maraming salamat sa lahat ng teachers who work so hard. Thank you so much. Ngayon naman, tatanungin natin ang ating mga partners at uunahin natin ang Stairway Foundation. Hello, Ace! Ace Diloy, good morning sa iyo. And I want to ask, bilang isang organization na tumututok talaga sa child protection, what are the safety concerns na kailangan isaalang-alang under the BELCP?
Ayun, so under the BELCP, no, ang daming nagbago sa school environment. So, yung learning delivery modalities natin nagkaroon ng massive shift, no? Especially yung pagkakaroon ng online classes. So under online classes, hindi lang yung increase internet usage yung pinag-uusapan natin, kundi pati yung change on how do we use technology at the school setting, how teachers and learners use technology. So for example, sa online learning delivery modality, yung mga online classes, gumagamit ng video conferencing call. So one safety concern dyan, syempre yung security ng mga video conferencing platforms na to, kasi minsan may mga usapin na may mga nakakapasok na outsiders sa video classes na to. And also, yung paggamit ni teacher ng mga multimedia and online content for teaching. So, ang question dito is, na-ensure ba natin na laging safe yung mga content na to? Kasi minsan, baka si teacher nakakaligtaan na i-double check kung safe or appropriate ba yung mga online content na ginagamit niya for teaching. Pero even doon sa non-online class, for example, yung modules, no, yung modular way of teaching, gumagamit pa rin ng technology if you think about it, kasi ginagamitan natin ng Facebook Messenger, for example, for communicating between teachers and learners. So nangyayari yun. So even with that, may safety concerns din. And the primary aspect of which is, of course, yung communication, yung way of communicating. So maaring si teacher at learner magkaroon ng unsafe or inappropriate communication, at minsan maaring maging venue pa ng online grooming. Si learner pwedeng magkaroon ng unsafe communication, learner to learner, and it might result eventually into cyberbullying. So even post-pandemic, kasi syempre ini-imagine naman natin hindi forever na ganito yung setup natin, even in the post-pandemic setting, napaka-importante pa rin na italaga at ilatag yung mga safety protocols and guidelines, kasi I can imagine that hindi na mawawala yung blended learning, no? Yung paggamit ng technology also aside from the face-to-face. And thus, technology and social media usage in the school setting will stay. At kailangan ilatag natin yung clear protocols kung paano natin gagamitin ng ligtas ang mga teknolohiya na to para mag-benefit yung ating mga estudyante.
Thank you very much, Ace. Eto naman, pumunta naman tayo sa ating partners sa Facebook Philippines. Kakausapin natin si Chris Kuzupili. Hello, Kuya Chris! Bilang isang bigating tech and social media company, gaano kahalaga sa inyo na maging ligtas ang inyong platform para sa mga learners at para sa mga teachers sa konteksto ng BELCP?
Araw-araw ginagamit ng mga tao ang Facebook para i-share ang kanilang mga experience, kumonek sa mga kaibigan at pamilya, at bumuo ng kanilang mga community. Alam natin na dahil sa COVID-19 restrictions, lalong naging mahalaga ang technology. Para sa marami sa atin, naging importante ito para manatiling connected sa ating mga mahal sa buhay at para na rin sa paglagap ng mga balita o impormasyon tungkol sa COVID-19. At sa ating mga teachers at learners, ang Facebook ay isa sa mga naging tool upang makontinue ang pag-aaral at iba pang mga school activities. Dahil dito, ang pagprotekta sa kaligtasan ng mga users, lalo na ng mga kabataan, ay isa sa pinakamahalagang responsibilidad at pangunahing priority para sa amin sa Facebook. Together with our partners, we work on programs to ensure na mapanatiling safe ang mga bata sa aming platform and provide age-appropriate content to support their learning and development. Committed kami na makipagtulungan sa DepEd, mga NGOs, parents, at pati na rin sa ating mga learners to keep everyone safe on Facebook. Sa Pilipinas, kasama natin ang government at law enforcement agencies, mga global at local NGOs, academics, at mga eksperto sa pagbuo ng mga policies, tools at safety resources and programs. Mayroon tayong malinaw na policies o pamantayan na nagsasabi kung ano ang pinapayagan at hindi pinapayagan sa Facebook. Tinatawag natin itong community standards. Malaki din ang ating investment sa mga tools na nagbibigay ng power sa ating mga users na mag-report at kontrolin kung ano ang nakita nila at nakita ng iba tungkol sa kanila sa Facebook. Ang mga tools na ito ay nakatutulong sa pag-detect at pagtanggal ng mga harmful content na labag sa ating community standards. Kumukuha rin tayo ng feedback mula sa over 500 safety organizations globally to shape and further improve our work. Meron din tayong digital literacy programs upang i-empower ang ating community on how to better use our services and keep them safe. Kasama na rin dyan ang Digital Tayo program at ang Facebook Safety Guide na ating ibabahagi mamaya. Naniniwala kami na ang pagsulong sa child rights kasama na ang kanilang access to education, learning and development habang sinisiguro ang kanilang safety ay napaka-importanting task na hindi namin magagawa na mag-isa. Kailangan ang pagtutulungan nating lahat, mga schools at educators, mga magulang, mga policymakers, NGOs at kasamahan sa private sector at syempre kayo na ating mga kabataan. Maraming salamat at happy Safer Internet Day.
Maraming salamat, Kuya Chris. Ngayon naman, chichikahin natin ang ating mga partners from DepEd CPU. And I would like to say good morning to you, Clint Richard Chua, isang Senior Technical Assistant 3. Hello, Clint! Clint, i-share mo naman sa aming lahat ngayong umaga, may mga konkretong aksyon ba na ginagawa ang DepEd para masiguro na ligtas ang learners online dito sa BELCP?
Ang DepEd ay isang policy-making body. Ang pagkakabuo pa lamang ng Child Protection Unit o CPU sa pamamagitan ng ating DepEd Department Order No. 3, Series of 2021, ay isa na ito sa mga konkretong ginawa ng kagawaran upang masiguro ang proteksyon ng mga mag-aaral online. Dahil sa pagkakabuo ito ng CPU, nabigang daan ang pagpapatuloy ng pagbuo sa online safeguarding policy at nasimulan na rin ang mga paunang hakbang upang palakasin ang ating mga Child Protection Committees o CPCs. Inaasahan natin ang mga itatag, patatagin at palalakasing mga CPC ang siyang titiyak na aabot sa school level ang pagpapatupad ng mga polisiya sa proteksyon ng ating mga mag-aaral, lalo na online. Nakipag-partner din pala tayo sa mga organisasyong nagbibigay ng mga technical assistance sa pagbuo ng mga polisiya at programa. Gayon din, mayroon tayong aksyon maging sa regional level. Ang kagawaran ay mayroong commitment na pangunahan ng Agenda 1.1.3 ng ASEAN Work Plan on Education sa loob ng mga taong 2021 at 2025. Ito ay ang mga pag-organize ng media and information literacy kung saan kabilang sa mga indicators ang pagpapatupad ng school-based campaign ukol sa tatlong bagay. Una, ito ang cyber wellness. Pangalawa, anti-cyberbullying. At ang pangatlo, ang anti-online sexual exploitation.
Thank you, Clint, at thank you sa lahat ng nag-share ng kanilang mga perspektibo ngayong umaga. Napakarami ko talagang natutunan. Siyempre, isa itong multi-sector concern talaga. Kaya maraming salamat for joining us this morning. Thank you for giving your insights patungkol dito at siguradong lahat tayo ay maliliwanagan upang makahanap ng lunas sa mga problemang ating kinakaharap. And the challenges that we are about to face, siyempre, papasok na naman tayo sa isang bagong school year very soon. Ngayon naman, para ibahagi sa ating lahat ang initiative na sinimulan ng Facebook Philippines in partnership with the DepEd CPU and the Stairway Foundation, let us hear about the online safety guide for schools. Makikita niyo ulit siya, Kuya Chris Kuzufili of Facebook Philippines.
Dahil sa quarantine at iba pang restrictions na dala ng pandemya, mas mahabang oras ang ginugugol natin sa paggamit ng technology, internet, pati na rin sa Facebook. Tulad ng nabanggit kanina, marami sa ating mga school personnel, learners at maging mga magulang ang nag-rely sa internet upang patuloy na makapagtrabaho at matuto. Dahil dito mahalaga na alam natin kung paano tayo mananatiling healthy and safe. Hindi lamang physically, kundi pati na rin online. Kaya naman kasama ang Department of Education Child Protection Unit at ang Stairway Foundation, binuo natin ang online safety guide for schools. Ang online safety guide na ito ay naglalaman ng mga infographics at learning videos na maaaring magsilbing gabay sa ating mga school personnel, home-based learning facilitators, at syempre sa ating mga learners. Layunin nitong suportahan kayo sa ligtas na pag-navigate ng Facebook bilang communication platform kung saan pwede magbahagi ng mahalagang school updates at iba pang mga announcements and information. Naglalaman ang safety guide na ito ng mga tips tungkol sa iba't ibang Facebook tools and features na pwede ninyong gamitin upang pangalagaan ang inyong privacy at security. May lessons din ito on internet safety and netiquette sa paggamit ng social media. Ngayong araw, excited kami to share ang unang 3 videos ng online safety guide. Para sa mga mag-aaral, meron tayong Protecting Yourself Online. Para sa mga school personnel, Staying Safe Online. At para sa mga home-based learning facilitators, Protecting Children and Teens Online.
You know when you're at school and your teachers give you a set of rules to follow, like no standing or don't be noisy, for example. It's not much different online. Yes, technically you're at home and probably more comfortable, but you also need to be on your best behavior online, especially if you're using the internet to learn. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts of good online behavior. To use Facebook, you have to follow the rules. The first rule is that you have to meet Facebook's age requirement. If you're 13 and below, don't create a Facebook account. This is mentioned in the terms of service. You can ask an adult at home if they can create a Messenger Kids for you, though. The other rules are pretty simple to follow. Don't post anything offensive and keep the peace online. Remember that even though you can't see the people behind the posts, they're still real people with real feelings. Don't spam their posts with mean comments. And be careful with using the reactions. Otherwise, it could be taken the wrong way. Remember, cyberbullying is still bullying. Aside from being against school regulations, cyberbullying hurts people. And if you're a victim of cyberbullying, you can always ask for help from your parents, guardians, or teachers to report whoever is bothering you. Try to balance your fun internet time with your studies. And hey, who says learning can't be fun? Avoid visiting other websites when you're supposed to be studying. If that one friend of yours keeps messaging, you can mute them for now. Having a hard time concentrating? Ask an adult at home for help. Strangers online are the same as strangers in real life, so it's generally not a good idea to interact with them even online. If a stranger messages you, tell your school personnel, your parents, or a trusted adult at home about it. If someone is bothering you or making you feel uncomfortable online, report them. Don't worry. If you report someone, they will not know that it was you who reported them. Report the message using the following steps. First, tap the messenger icon. Select the message you want to report. Tap on the person's name. Then tap Report. Select a reason for reporting and then tap Submit Report. If there's any content on Facebook that makes you uncomfortable, don't hesitate to report that post or message. For posts, tap the 3 dots to the right of the post. Then tap Report Post. Select the reason for reporting the post. To report a group, you'll need to visit the group. Tap the 3 dots on the upper right side. Tap Report Group. And remember, for school-based harassment concerns committed by your classmate, teachers, or other school personnel. You can always seek the assistance of your parents or guardians. Your parents may then report the same to the appropriate authorities. Happy and safe learning! As members of the school community, you're expected to act a certain way and handle matters professionally. This is so everyone around you, particularly your students, can feel comfortable and safe. It's the same online. Just because you're behind a computer screen doesn't mean people's feelings won't get hurt if you say or do something rude or unkind. It's important to maintain your professionalism and kind nature. Act like a school personnel even if you're at home. Manners online is what we refer to as netiquette. It's simple. Just act how you would if you were at a party surrounded by acquaintances. If you see someone wearing something you don't like, don't write an offensive comment on their photo. You wouldn't say that to their face at a party, would you? Avoid vulgar language and don't share questionable content. Keep in mind that there's a chance for your friends, family, and even your learners to see what you post online. Before tagging anyone, make sure that they're okay with your post appearing on their wall. Now, some teenagers these days might have questions about things they see or experience online. Make sure to guide them as they explore the world of social media. There's a risk of cyberbullying among your own learners, so have regular conversations with them on how everyone can make cyberspace safe for everyone. Remind them that whatever you post publicly on the internet can be seen by other people as well. And you can also hide other people's comments if you don't want it to appear on your post. Explain to your learners that it's not always safe to talk to strangers, offline or online. Tell them to inform you or another trusted adult right away if they encounter someone asking them for unsafe photos or other intimate information. Be a good role model for your learners. Privacy and account security will keep you safe online. You can manage your account settings in such a way that only friends will see your posts and your activity online. Be cautious when sharing your location online. If you belong to any Facebook group consisting of strangers, double-check your privacy settings. And remember, if you need to create Facebook groups for your classes, you must ensure that strangers would not be able to join. If there's already a stranger who is able to join, you should remove them immediately. Don't forget that school personnel are duty-bound to protect their learners within these Facebook groups. Make sure that you yourself are familiar with these guidelines. That way, you can effectively teach digital decorum and cyber safety to your students. Now that the kids are staying at home, you can be there to protect them. Brush up on your Facebook internet safety knowledge. Children under the age of 13 are not permitted to create a Facebook account. But if your child is under 13, they can use Messenger Kids. Here's how. First, install the Messenger Kids app to your kid's phone or tablet. You'll need to authenticate your kid's device using your Facebook login. Next, you can create a Messenger Kids account for your kid by adding their name. You can manage your kids' account and customize controls in the parent dashboard in your Facebook app. How about teenagers? If your child is 13 years old and above, they can have their very own Facebook account. But remember, you are responsible for overseeing and regulating your kids' Facebook use, even if they are already 13 and above. One thing you have to watch out for is the possibility of encountering offensive or inappropriate content like posts, comments, photos, or videos. Make sure to check that your child isn't following any age-inappropriate Facebook groups or pages. Tell your child to let you know if they see anything offensive on their Facebook feed. If there's a post, group, or a message that you deem unacceptable, here's how to report. For posts, tap the three dots to the right of the post, then tap Report Post. Select the reason for reporting the post. To report a group, you'll need to visit the group. Tap the three dots on the upper right side. Tap Report Group. Now, let's talk about how to protect your child from inappropriate behavior from people messaging them. Talk to your child. Tell them not to accept message requests from strangers. If you feel like your child is being harassed by anyone, report the message using the following steps. First, tap the messenger icon. Select the message you want to report. Tap on the person's name. Then tap Report. Select a reason for reporting and then tap Submit Report. If you have any school-related concerns, please report it to your child's teacher, a representative from the School Child Protection Committee, or even directly to the school principal. Always remind your kids to be vigilant online. If your kids are very young, it's best to check on their online activity every once in a while. Don't forget, always guide your children in their use of Messenger, especially if they're under 13. And if you would rather be the one communicating with your kids' teachers via Messenger, coordinate with them to explore ways you can discuss school-related concerns. Happy and safe sharing!
Maraming salamat. Together with DepEd and Stairway Foundation, we hope that these resources will be useful to keep everyone healthy and safe online.
Thank you very, very much, Kuya Chris. I'm sure makakatulong ng malaki ang mga materials na ito para mas lalong lumawak ang ating kaalaman, pati na rin syempre ang awareness ng ating mga learners, mga teachers, and home-based facilitators kung paano gagamitin ang social media in the context of school. And syempre, safety na din in general. Nabanggit din ng DepEd CPU na meron silang inilabas na guidelines para sa online safeguarding. Ano nga ba itong online safeguarding policy at sa anong paraan ito makakatulong sa atin upang maging mas ligtas, mas kampante tayo mga parents sa ating online experience? To tell us more about it, let us listen to a summary of what it is exactly and why it is important. Let us all welcome from DepEd CPU, Mr. Jared Ruiz Libiran.
Good day sa ating mga school personnel, parents, and learners who are currently viewing from all over the country. Ako nga pala si Jared Ruiz A. Libiran, Technical Assistant 2 from the DepEd Child Protection Unit. Today, I will be discussing the drafted DepEd guidelines on child online protection. Basically, this proposed policy seeks to provide safeguards for our learners in their use of the information and communication technology and the social media in the school setting. Let me first provide you a background on how this department, through our office, the Child Protection Unit, came up with these proposed guidelines on child online protection. The COVID-19 pandemic posed challenges to various sectors, especially in responding to basic rights. With physical distancing and community quarantine being among the measures to contain the COVID-19, Basic education is among the sectors significantly and heavily affected as schools and community learning centers are closed for physical conduct of classes. Along with the issued health protocols and community guidelines, President Duterte had suspended face-to-face classes in order to protect our learners, along with the school personnel from this disease. This department, on the other hand, adhered to the President's order. Thus, DepEd Order Number 12, Series of 2020 is adopted, or the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan in the light of the COVID-19 pandemic. By virtue of the 2020 BELCP, several modes of learning deliveries and specific steps on handling the same are provided for the schools and teachers throughout the country, so as not to hamper the learners' opportunity even though they are at home. Consequently, BELCP provided other modalities in the learning delivery in addition to the traditional face-to-face classes. There are 4 recognized modes of learning delivery in the DepEd BELCP of 2020. First, as mentioned, is a traditional face-to-face learning. Second is a distance learning, which may either be modular, online, or through TV or radio-based instructions. It is the second kind of the distance learning delivery mode which is sought to be regulated by this proposed policy. Third is blended learning, where it may be a mix of any of the 3 kinds of distance learning. And lastly is homeschooling, where, despite being at home, our learners are facilitated by qualified homeschool tutors. Let us now talk about online distance learning. This kind of distance learning features the teachers as facilitators, engaging learners' active participation through the use of various technology accessed through the internet while they are geographically remote from each other during instruction. The internet is used to facilitate learner-teacher and peer-to-peer communication. Online learning allows live synchronous instructions. However, in order to be effective, it requires participants to have a good and stable internet connection. It is more interactive than the other types of distance learning, and the responses are real-time. This is also practiced effectively by using a learning management system or related technologies. The DepEd Commons and LR Portal fall in this category. Let us go now to other circumstances aside from the COVID-19 pandemic which pushed this department through the Child Protection Unit to draft this proposed policy. According to Save the Children, cases of online sexual abuse and exploitation of children in the Philippines increased by 264.6% or 202,605 more reports during the imposition of the enhanced community quarantine from March to May 2020, compared to the 76,561 cases during the same period in 2019. This is according to the Department of Justice, citing a data from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Another publication by the United Nations Children's Fund or UNICEF meanwhile pointed out that as the pandemic enters its second year, the impact on children and young people's psychosocial well-being and mental health risks is taking a toll. Due to the restrictive containment measures adopted since the onset of the pandemic, children have lived away from members of their extended families, teachers, and friends. Lastly, learners, through the use of information and communications technology and the social media, are more exposed to cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is any conduct as resulting in harassment, intimidation, or humiliation through electronic means or other technology, such as, but not limited to, texting, email, instant messaging, chatting, internet, social networking websites, or other platforms or formats. Considering the aforementioned risks, along with the uncertainties brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, The main challenge right now is that DepEd Order Number 40 Series of 2012 or the DepEd Child Protection Policy lacks provision contemplating protection of children in online delivery mode. So there is really a need of a regulatory policy in order to protect our learners whenever they are using the internet as their main tool of learning. Now, what should we expect in the adoption of this new policy? This topic is significant, especially to the teaching and non-teaching school personnel, parents, and learners, since they all have rights and duties stated under this. Let us discuss the regulation in the social media page of the school. The most important thing to remember is that the creation of the social media page, including the choice of social media platform, subject to several requirements regarding child safety, is under the discretion of the school head. There will also be a requirement of appointment of at least 2 social media managers who will administer the social media page of the school under the supervision of the school head. Posting of information in the social media page of the school will also be subject to several requirements, such as undergoing a specific quality assurance procedure, compliance with data privacy requirements, and according credits to its sources. As to the interaction between teachers and learners, here is how it will be regulated. First, there would be a need of compliance with the requirements in making of social media groups. The social media groups of a particular class must be created by the teacher holding the specific subject for which the group is created. Moreover, the group must be configured in such a way that the creator will have to verify and approve the joining of the members of the same. And the members of the said group or online forum must only be the learners enrolled in the particular class and taking the particular subject for which the group is created. As to group chats and direct messaging between learners and school personnel, the same is also prohibited, unless there is no other practical means to communicate with each other. Friend requests between teachers and learners are highly discouraged as well. But for school or community learning center personnel who are already friends with learners in social media, they should abide by the rules stated in these guidelines on proper behavior in social media. Let us go now to the handling of cases. Teachers and social media managers have a big role to play in the handling of cases. Once a case is reported in the official social media page or social media group, the social media manager or the teacher, as the case may be, shall accomplish an intake sheet containing the matters and facts in relation to the same. If the report is communicated to the social media page via the comment section or through a post, the said comment or post shall be preserved, but hidden from public view, using the hide comments functionality or other similar options of the said social media platform. The intake sheet, together with the documents and pieces of evidence related to the report, shall immediately be forwarded to the appropriate individuals or body, as the case may be. In accordance with various laws, rules, and regulations related to the alleged violation, such as but not limited to the DepEd Child Protection Policy, the implementing rules and regulations of the Anti-Bullying Act, Safe Spaces Act, and the guidelines and procedure on the management of child at risk and children in conflict with the law. The Child Protection Committee of Schools also has a role to play because they must observe and monitor the social media accounts and provide feedbacks to the social media managers. And now, let us discuss the regulations in the video conferencing platform. The facilitators of the video conferencing platform must ensure that the video conference meeting details are confidential and are only known to learners and their parents, guardians, learning support aides, or caregivers. Passwords shall always be required for video conferencing with learners. The meeting room credentials, including the meeting ID and passwords, should never be shared with the public. Teachers, learning facilitators, or community ALS implementers may require to open the learners' webcams during online classes. In line with this, teachers may encourage learners to use virtual backgrounds during the online class. Teachers and learners shall ensure that their webcam feed shows appropriate and safe video and audio streams, both from the teachers and learners themselves, as well as the immediate environment of the teacher and the learner. However, the conduct of online classes through the use of the video conferencing platform must observe the screen time requirements appropriate to the age of the learner. As mentioned under relevant department orders or memorandum, such as that is stated under DepEd Memo 2020-00162, entitled The Suggested Strategies in Implementing Distance Learning Delivery Modalities. Online classes may be recorded by the teacher, but he or she must first secure the consent of the learners and the latter's parents, guardian, or caregiver, after disclosing the legitimate purpose for which the same will be used. Such legitimate purpose may either be for purposes of viewing by the learner who may have missed a particular class, for training purposes of educators, and for other purposes, in compliance with the requirements of data privacy. Parents, guardians, or caregivers are allowed to be present in the virtual class with their children or ward, but only as observers. They are encouraged to physically monitor virtual classes, but shall not intervene in the audio, video, or chat while the same is ongoing. In this proposed policy as well, this department had included several provisions from laws, rules, and regulations related to it. Considering that this policy is related to online child protection, the same must be in line with several statutes related to it, such as the Data Privacy Act. The National Privacy Commission, through their Bulletin number 16 and 17, simplified the aforementioned law in order for it to fit in the school setting. The relevant provisions of the new law protecting children from gender-based sexual harassment, which is the Safe Spaces Act, are also included. The important provisions of the Department of Justice Office of the Cybercrime Public Advisory on the conduct of online classes, protecting children from online abuse and harmful contents during the said classes are also included. More so, the provisions of related DepEd orders, such as the DepEd Child Protection Policy, implementing rules and regulations of Anti-Bullying Act, and the management of child at risk and children in conflict with the law, are also included in order to enforce the proposed policy, especially in handling and addressing child protection cases. For our ways forward, here's the flowchart of policy adoption process provided under DO 13 Series of 2015, or the establishment of policy development process at the Department of Education. Currently, the proposed policy is already in the last stage of policy formulation, where the same is being reviewed by relevant offices of the department and as well as the executive committee. Upon approval of the secretary, as for the next step, the same will be forwarded to the DepEd Public Affairs Service for review, numbering, registration, and posting to the DepEd website. The Department of Education, through the Child Protection Unit, would like to take this opportunity to thank the different private offices, non-governmental organizations, and national government agencies who assisted us in the formulation of this proposed policy since its consultation stage. This office would like to extend its gratitude to Stairway Foundation, UNICEF Philippines, Facebook Philippines, Save the Children Philippines, Social Watch Philippines, Department of Justice, Office of Cybercrime, Department of Information and Communications Technology, and the National Privacy Commission. This ends my presentation. Thank you very much. Muli, ako si Jared Ruiz A. Libiran from the DepEd Child Protection Unit at sabay-sabay tayong mag-hashtag kasama ka. Karapatan sa ligtas na paaralan, sama-samang makakamtan.
Maraming salamat, Sir Jared. Alam mo, parang nakakagaan ng loob bilang isang magulang na marinig ang lahat ng yan, di ba? Ang policy niyan, it addresses the concerns that our learners and our teachers face and will continue to face dito sa implementation ng ating BELCP. And isang important takeaway para sa akin, yung meron talagang clear protocols to ensure that everyone involved in education in the time of the pandemic is protected. Sobrang importante yan talaga. Pero maliban nga sa mga policies na naipakita na sa ating lahat, our partners from Facebook and Stairway would like to share more resources pa that our schools can use to further promote digital literacy and cyber safety. Kaya naman, pakinggan natin muli sina Kuya Chris Kuzufili of Facebook Philippines and sasamahan siya ni Kuya Ace Diloy, the Child Protection Specialist of Stairway Foundation, para maintindihan natin talaga kung ano-ano ang mga ito. Take it away, Kuya Chris and Kuya Ace.
Salamat! Excited kami to share ang ilan sa mga programs and resources na available para sa inyong lahat. Una dyan ay ang Digital Tayo, ang digital literacy program ng Facebook sa Pilipinas. Sinimulan natin ito noong 2019. Layunin ng programa na bumuo ng mga responsableng digital citizens sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng training tungkol sa privacy, safety, empathy at misinformation. Meron tayong 3 modules dito. Una ay ang Introduction to Digital Citizenship. Sa module na ito, nais nating ituro kung paano magiging maingat, magalang at mapanuri online. Ikalawa ay ang Digital Engagement Module. Layunin ng module na ito na tulungang hubugin ang critical thinking at iba pang skills na kailangan sa pagsuri at pagbabahagi ng mga impormasyon online. May lessons din ito tungkol sa respect at boundaries, healthy online relationships, at paggamit ng digital skills para maging best version ng iyong sarili. May steps din kung paano mag-verify kung totoo ba ang mga impormasyong nakikita mo online. Ikatlo naman ay ang Digital Empowerment Module. Dito nais nating ituro kung paano magagamit ang technology at social media sa paggawa ng mabuti at pagbuo ng mga oportunidad para sa ating sarili at ating community. May lessons tungkol sa pag-create ng advocacies, pagbuo ng iyong advocacy network, at kung paano mag-raise ng awareness gamit ang social media. Bukod sa mga ito, meron din tayong community engagement playbook. Ito ay easy-to-use tool na pwede ninyong magamit sa pag-advocate sa mga issues na inyong pinahahalagahan. At syempre, hindi natin makakalimutan ang mga magulang at home-based learning facilitators. Meron din tayong digital parenting module na makakatulong sa mga parents and guardians na panatiling ligtas ang kanilang mga anak at pamilya habang gumagamit ng online platforms at applications. At kung kayo naman ay mahilig sa online games at nais itest ang inyong natutunan mula sa Digital Tayo modules, meron din tayong interactive quizzes and learning videos na pwede ninyong itry. Tandaan, a better digital world starts with us. We hope that these resources will help each one of us to build a safe and positive online community.
Happy Safer Internet Day po sa ating lahat. So, ngayong hapon po, we are very proud to present to you the newest training materials from Stairway Foundation and the Department of Education, yung Break the Silence Learning Action Cell Session Guides for Teachers. So, ipapaliwanag ko, ano nga ba itong mga LAC session guides na ito? So basically, itong mga LAC session guides na to, ito ay mga training modules on child protection na dinevelop specifically for the professional development of teachers, no? So ito ay dinideliver sa school level and it aims to contribute to school level professional development. So itong mga materials na to or mga LAC session guides na to, ito ay hango mula sa mga training materials ng Stairway. So kami po bilang isang NGO, ilang dekado na po kami nagko-conduct ng mga trainings on child protection for different sectors. And minarapat namin na i-maximize yung usage ng mga trainings na to via transforming it into different modalities. At ang isang modality na nakita namin na malaki yung potential impact ay yung DepEd technology on LAC session guides. So, through the collaboration with the Department of Education, we transform these training materials from Stairway on Child Protection into LAC session guide formats. At sa proseso po ng pagta-transform ng mga Stairway Child Protection Training materials, nagkaroon kami ng assistance from the Department of Education. So, merong mga guro from the field offices na tumulong sa amin para mas mapalago yung content ng mga training materials na yon, both in terms of what information is inside and the learning delivery methodology. And then yung Department of Education Bureau of Learning Delivery tumulong po sa amin para ma-check kung magkakaroon ng pag-abot doon sa standards na sinet ng DepEd in terms of developing and publishing these kinds of LAC session guides. So itong mga LAC session guides na to, basically it really aims to contribute to school-level professional development. Marami ng LAC session guides in place and usually tungkol sa pagtuturo, pero yung tungkol sa child protection, bihira lang to. So this is one of the few existing which is related to child protection, and we are very happy that such an opportunity was given to Stairway to elaborate these kinds of materials. So merong 6 na LAC session guides, no, on the whole set, no. So the first one, it talks about children's rights. Kasi ang pagtuturo ng child protection or training on child protection for stakeholders and duty bearers like teachers, dapat rights-based siya. So meron tayong LAC session guide on that. Tapos meron tayong LAC session guide on understanding child sexual abuse. Kasi ito yung isa sa pinaka-seryosong pang-aabusong pwedeng makaharap ng mga guro na pwedeng ma-encounter ng mga learners nila, no? And then we have a LAC session guide on child online protection. So sa konteksto nga lalo ng BELCP na gumagamit yung mga guro ng mga technologies and social media and the internet, it's very important to capacitate them towards understanding what child online protection is. And then meron tayong 2 LAC session guides on protective behavior. So ano ibig sabihin nito? So sa protective behavior, pinag-uusapan kung ano yung mga knowledge and skills na kailangang ituro sa mga bata para bumaba yung vulnerability nila against abuse and exploitation, whether offline or online. And then of course, last but not the least, pinaka-importante or isa sa pinaka-importante, paano magre-respond ang mga guro kung maka-encounter sila ng mga gantong child protection concerns, whether offline man yan o online. So ang isang strength ng mga LAC session guides na to ay pwede itong i-deliver even without a resource person. Kasi minsan yun yung difficulty ng mga schools pag nagko-conduct ng training for teachers. Saan kukuha ng resource persons, etc. So swerte kung may local NGO na ka-partner. Pero paano kung wala? So via the LAC session guides, kompleto na yung reference, kompleto na yung methodology kung paano ituturo or i-conduct, at ang kailangan na lang ay yung lakas ng loob natin to take the first step towards conducting these child protection LAC session guides. So saan mata-download o ma-access itong mga LAC session guides na to? So makikita nyo yung download link dito, and you can also scan the QR code to freely download these LAC session guides. So ito ay mada-download ng libre, and you can use it freely for non-commercial purposes. So kung hindi pa kayo komportable na gamitin yung LAC session guides, pwede din kayong humingi ng assistance from the DepEd Child Protection Unit and Stairway Foundation to do an orientation or maybe train you on how to deliver or better understand yung mga issue na to, no? So para mas magkaroon kayo ng confidence to roll it out at your school level. So again, download it for freely. And this is the link, and we hope you get to use and maximize these Break the Silence Child Protection LAC session guides for teachers. Again, happy Safer Internet Day po sa ating lahat. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat muli, Kuya Chris and Kuya Ace. Para sa ating mga viewers, tandaan niyo po ang link para ma-access sa mga libreng resources na ito. Imagine, libre ang lahat ng yan as shared by our partners from Facebook Philippines and Stairway Foundation. And I'm sure na makakatulong talaga ito sa ating lahat. Last but not the least, alam niyo ba na noong January 24 at 26 ay matagumpay na isinagawa ng DepEd CPU ang paligsahan sa paggawa ng poster at pagsulat ng sanaysay in celebration of the National Children's Month. Now, lumahok dito mga napaka-talented na estudyante mula sa iba't ibang regions all around the Philippines na nagpamalas ng kanilang husay. Siyempre, napaka-creative, napakatalino talaga ng mga Pinoy. And all of this was done virtually and on the spot. On the spot talaga, kaya alam mong very gifted ang mga kabataang Pilipino sa sining. At isa rin sa mga kompetisyong inilunsad ng CPU ang Video Essay Contest na natapos lang nitong January 28. Kaya naman, I am so excited because this morning, i-a-announce na natin ang mga napiling obra mula sa mga kalahok. And at the end of the day, lagi niyong tatandaan ng lahat ng bata, lahat po ng mga coach na sumali sa ating paligsahan ay panalo na. For you to share your talent, your skills, lahat kayo ay winner na at nagpapasalamat kami sa pagsali ninyo. Okay, makinig na mabuti dahil sa selection process pa lang na kanilang pinagdaanan upang maging kinatawan ng kanilang sarili region, di ba? Ang galing-galing na nun. That's such a big feat. Kaya palakpakan para sa inyong lahat. At syempre, wag sana mawala ng loob ang mga hindi mapipili, di ba? At magpatuloy pa kayo sa paglikha dahil naniniwala kami sa inyong potensyal. At muli maraming salamat sa lahat ng sumali. Pero, eto na! Here are the winners of the National Children's Month competitions. Sisimulan natin ang mga big announcements sa ating winners sa on-the-spot virtual poster making contest. Congratulations from Region 13, Division of Bayugan City, Rex Benedict Garcia of Agusan del Sur Pilot Laboratory School with Coach Mr. Romar Garrido. Congratulations! Our winner from Region 1, Division of Pangasinan 1, congratulations, Jaisel Calpo of Anda Integrated School with Coach Mr. Efledo Capua. From Region 11, congratulations, Division of Panabo City, Misha Amaya Camacho from Panabo Central Elementary School, SPED Center, pati na rin ang kanyang coach si Mr. John Bill Buen. Eto naman from Region 5, Division of Masbate City, congratulations, Noel Kiara Titong of Jose Zorbito Senior Elementary School with Coach Mr. Christian Adriel Torres. And Region 12, Division of Sultan Kudarat, congratulations, Sofia Lorraine Samiliano, Don Juan Elementary School with Coach Miss Jennifer Samiliano. Congratulations sa lahat ng ating mga winners ng on-the-spot virtual poster making contest. Moving on to our winners of the on-the-spot virtual essay writing contest. From Region 9, Division of Zamboanga City, congratulations Phoebe Aliza M. Macrojon of Tulungatong National High School with Coach Albert L. Manayon. Congratulations! From Region 5, Division of Camarines Norte, congratulations to Kyla G. Lopez, Vincent's Pilot High School with Coach Venus L. Lamadrid. From Region 4A, Division of Batangas Province, congratulations Michelle Emmanuel C. Bravo of Masagitsit Banalo National High School with Coach Joy Cheryl L. Balsena. From Region 13, Division of Bayugan City, congratulations Kirk Michael G. Buena of Bayugan National Comprehensive High School with Coach May L. Gipoleo. And from the Mimaropa Region, Division of Oriental Mindoro, congratulations Jan Hill Z. Colinares of Aurelio Aragao Memorial National High School with Coach Rubenson I. Magnaye. There you have it, the winners of our on-the-spot virtual essay writing contest. Congratulations! And we move on to the winners of the video essay contest. Eto na, from Region 3, Division of Tarlac City. Congratulations! Mark Sander Vinluan of Matatalaib High School with Coach Miss Sarah Nicole Briones Vinluan. From Region 9, Division of Dipolog City, congratulations, Emmanuel Haboneta of Zamboanga del Norte National High School with Coach Miss Manilyn Templo. Eto naman from Region 2, Division of Isabela, congratulations, Trixie Sales of Luna National High School with Coach Mr. Alejandro Rodriguez. And from Region 1, Division of Pangasinan 1, Eliza Denise De Malanta of Bolinao Integrated School with Coach Mr. Michael Borbano. Congratulations! Last but not the least, from National Capital Region, Division of Quezon City, congratulations to Blessy Joy Rabina of Melchor Aquino High School with Coach Miss Joanne Christine Ramos. Congratulations to all the winners of our DepEd CPU National Children's Month competitions. Congratulations! Good job sa inyong lahat at sana ay sumali ulit ang lahat sa mga susunod na kompetisyon at sa iba't ibang programang pangunahan ng DepEd CPU. Of course, to all the regional directors and the schools, division superintendents, to all our coaches, maraming salamat po sa inyong suporta. Siyempre, nais din nating pasalamatan ng ating mga judges para sa essay writing contest under Secretary Josephine Maribojoc of DepEd, Dr. Christine Joy D.R. Aguila ng Philippine Science High School, at Ms. Faye Alma Balanon ng UNICEF. Para naman sa ating poster-making contest, our judges, Director Jocelyn D. Arandaya of DepEd Bureau of Curriculum Development, Ms. Maria Luz Anigan of Social Watch, and Teacher Precious Jewel Gamboa. Maraming salamat po. And our judges for the video essay contest, Mr. Israel Diloy of Stairway Foundation, Mr. Moises Cruz of the Manila Times, at Mr. Adolf Aguilar ng DepEd Youth Formation Division. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Again, the Department of Education celebrates with the rest of the Philippines and the rest of the world a safer Internet Day. We've heard so much this morning about child online protection sa konteksto nga ng ating DepEd BELCP, and may we all develop the habits that promote internet safety para sa masaya at ligtas na experience online. And before we close our program this morning, we would like to call on the OIC, Assistant Regional Director of the Mimaropa Region and concurrent head of the DepEd Child Protection Unit, to give all of us her closing message. Please welcome Attorney Suzette T. Ganaban Medina.
Good morning, everyone. Our celebration today of the Safer Internet Day Philippines happened at an opportune time, as the internet has now become an integral component of our daily lives. Most of what we do necessitates the use of the internet, including instant messaging, banking, shopping, traveling, and even education. The education sector is one among those that has been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Fortunately, we live in an age where technological advancements are vastly happening. With the latest technologies at our disposal, it is imperative that our educational system also adapt to the fast-changing times. The internet is a great tool that DepEd can use in providing the necessary educational services that our children, clients, and stakeholders need. With the various modalities that we cater in teaching and learning, our online platforms are great tools that ensures a successful implementation of our basic education learning continuity plan. However, with increased use of the internet, safeguarding our information and data has also become a requirement. As such, We should also be mindful of ways to minimize hazards, risks, and cybercrime, as well as be cautious, proactive, and stay informed, whether we are in business, education, or simply a daily internet user. As our students gain confidence in their ability to navigate the internet, we also need to maintain our efforts to ensure the internet safety remains a top concern. Department of Education, in collaboration with our partner organizations, is dedicated to consistently enhance policies and initiatives that will strengthen linkages in our internet safety campaign. Through awareness, education, knowledge, and technology, online safety safeguards users and prevent and limit the risk that come with using digital technologies, platforms, services, and networks. We sincerely thank our partners, Terry Foundation Incorporated and Facebook Philippines, for their hard work and commitment in leading this event, as well as their continued partnership with DepEd. This is a step forward in realizing our common goal to actively promote and ensure that the rights of the child, especially the right to protection, is continuously strengthened and upheld at all times. Together with our stakeholders, we can make the internet a safer place for all. Ang Child Protection Unit ay kasama nyo. Kasama ka. Karapatan sa ligtas na paaralan. Sama-samang makakamtan. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very, very much, Attorney Suzette. Naku, nagpapasalamat po kami sa lahat ng nakilahok, nakisama, nakilive chat sa amin ngayon sa ating DepEd Safer Internet Day event. Muli, ako po si Bianca Gonzalez and I am wishing everyone, remember, ang ating CRC, sabay-sabay tayo. CRC, click, respect, connect para sa ligtas na ugnayan online. Thank you again for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.